Before you add any fringe to your weaving, you need to make sure you've got a couple of rows of regular weaving first. Then cut a piece of yarn that's twice the length you want your piece of fringe to be, because each piece of fringe gets folded in half. I'm going to make my fringe a little bit shorter on this piece, so I'll measure out the length, double the yarn, and make my cut. Then I'll use that same piece of yarn to figure out how long I need to make all of my other pieces. I usually like cutting all of my pieces of fringe at once, so I have a little pile to pull from as I'm working. You can make fringe out of any color and any type of yarn and alternate it in any pattern you want. You won't need your needle or your fork for this. Take your first piece of fringe, fold it in half, and lay it over the top of the first two strings of your warp. Then take each end and wrap it under and through the middle of those two pieces of warp. Hold the ends together and pull the fringe down towards the top of your weaving. Be careful not to pull too hard. Repeat this process across your entire first row of fringe. Every two pieces of warp gets one piece of fringe tied onto it. You'll notice that you end up with some gaps. In order to correct this, we need to add fringe in the in-between pieces on a second row. So this time you're going to alternate and put your fringe on the two lines of warp between the last two pieces of fringe you did. You'll attach it the same way, making sure that you're filling the gap between your first two pieces of fringe underneath. You want to make sure you complete at least 2 full rows in order to not have gaps in your fringe, but you can make your fringe as thick and fluffy as you want. Keep adding colors and additional pieces until you're happy with the way that it looks. When you've finished adding all of your fringe, you can just start weaving as usual.